what banks' response needs to be is actually not a half-baked response like some of the so-called digital players that understand small businesses in this country have done. So, with a Starring or a Tide, for example, you can send the invoice out through your banking app, but they don't help you collect the payment. So the invoice getting out there is not the problem. It's making sure the person that receives it on the other end actually pays you. So this is where technology can come in. So you can link your bank account, you can create your invoice, and the press of a button, you can deliver that invoice to your customer and push it into your accounting package. So you can run your business from your bank's portal. You can also send that request to the customer. You can remind them through technology when they haven't paid you. If you're face-to-face with them, you can collect the money there and then. And once the payment hits your account, it automatically matches and reconciles in the background against your accounting package. So I think the issue here is perhaps banks don't think like their customers and they don't understand the problems that their customers have got. And actually working in partnership with organisations that are small businesses. The reason we do this is my father-in-law is a painter and decorator. I've got friends who are osteopaths. I've got friends who are electricians. They don't get finance, but they know that they need money for their business to flourish and survive. So if you can automate that and at the same time chase the late payment for them without ruining the relationship with their customer, and at the same time reduce the admin burden by not having them to do the books and the paying accountant through it, you can actually solve lots of problems with technology and not through an expensive relationship manager, because we know that simply won't work for the cohort of micro businesses and sole traders.
I think there is an element to it. I think, all I can say, I can speak on behalf of the Co-operative Bank, that we're doing everything we can to understand our customers better and find solutions, as Mark's described, that really help them to run their business. And I think, there's a lot of activity out in the business banking SME space across banks at the moment as well. So I think they are a lot more focused on it than perhaps we have been historically. And I think it's definitely sort of a growing area of banking, because we do want to start getting things right.
I think the traditional banks actually face exactly the same challenges the so-called digital neo-banks, so the Starlings and the Monzos and the Tides and, are facing the same problems that Catherine and HSBC and others are. And it's not from other banks, it's from people like Shopify, PayPal, Square, Stripe, QuickBooks, etc. Because they have worked out that people like me need a much more holistic offering. And with the changes in regulation and the advances in technology, notably, consensual sharing of data and access to people's data in their bank accounts, the danger for the bank is that they're reduced to being the pipe of data into somebody else's rich customer experience that solves all of the problems in one place. And actually, on the subject of that, open banking, I think the banks have had a bit of an unlucky run on this. Why is it that the regulators think that the data that my business holds in my bank is mine, and therefore the bank is forced to share it, but the data that I hold in Xero is Xero's, and they can charge me for access and sharing it? So I actually think, the banks have, whilst they've not been necessarily the fastest to adopt new technologies and work with customers and necessarily understand them, I think the danger for banks, and as I said before, not just neo banks and traditional banks, all of them, is actually other parties that can now do payments and banking and other stuff under this banner of embedded finance. They're the real threat, not the likes of Starlink.